Hello and welcome to Coffee Tots at Home with me, Ann Tots. As you can see today, I have toys all around me and I'm going to do a little session today on Playtime with Coffee Tots at Home. Just some ideas about how to get started playing with your children. Today, to play with, I have some Small World characters. Now these characters could be anything. They could be Barbie dolls, they could be Lego, they could be Happy Land, they could be Playmobil, really whatever you've got to hand. And this type of play is so great because it can go through from actually toddlers right up to school age children, and you can play like this with your children. The games they play and the types of figures are all that change. As you can see, these are appropriate for the age, for a small age, because they've not got little accessories and they've not got bits that are going to come away, and you know, they're quite stable if they end up in the mouth. But go with what you've got at home, and providing you're supervising and removing small pieces, you can't go wrong even if they're using older siblings' toys. Now, how do you get started? A game like this with very small children, to get them used to playing it, I would set up a little scene like this. So when they come down in the morning or wake up from their nap, they've got a little scene like this, and you can sit down with them on the floor, pop them down on the floor and play with them. And how do you play with your child? Well, rule number one that we're going to talk about today is follow your child's lead. That is not take over, as tempting as it is to manipulate this scene into this perfect domestic situation. You're going to follow their lead. What happens if your child isn't playing? It's perfectly all right to start the game off. You might say, oh, is this one called Sam? And what's Sam doing with Kelly over here? Oh, Kelly and Sam are playing with the car, and they're going to push it backwards and forwards. And see if your child will get involved with that little suggestion. They might decide that they like to take the car and shush the car to and back to you, and that would be following your child's lead and going where the game took them, and not insisting that these two characters remained in the story. They might say, oh, Kelly's not called Kelly, she's actually called Betty, and Betty likes playing with the dog and she doesn't like silly cars. So then we can play a game where, ooh, where do we take the dog, and what's the dog's name, and what noise does the dog make? And the child may know the dog sound, ruff, 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 but you may teach them the dog goes ruff, 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 ruff. And learning animal sounds when children are not speaking is a really great way to start them off with their journey with speech and speaking. It's really great to help them recognise, because a rough sound can be easier than saying the word dog. And if they can point at things and you can understand what they're saying, then that relieves some of the frustration and some of the temper tantrums that children may have when they feel they're not being understood. But this trust of this simple action of a child barking like a dog, or growling like a lion, means that they know that you are understanding them, and it builds that trust and relieves that frustration. Now sometimes when you sit down with a child to play, if they're not used to you sitting down to play with them and just being with them whilst they play, they're going to be a bit weirded out. Everyone can be a bit weirded out when a person in your life starts behaving differently. Even if it's a really great change, you're a bit like, whoa, what happened to you? So just take a bit of time. If your child stops playing when you join them and they've been playing happily before, take a little bit of time, just give them a cuddle, tell them I'm just coming to see how you're doing today. Ask them questions to get them back in the game. Oh, who's this baby? What's this baby's name? He looks very happy. And you might get back into the game that way. And just take a little bit of time. Try it for a few minutes at a time. Don't expect the child, especially a young child, to hold their interest for half an hour. It may only be 4 or 5 minutes that you can keep them engaged with an activity. And that's one of the really hard things about having toddlers, is they rapidly cycle through different activities and you think, wow, I've set up this whole game, and you've played with it for 4 minutes. But if you can bring yourself to leave it out, go and do another activity, you may find that the child progresses back to the first activity and picks up the game where they left off, and then you can rejoin the game and you can say, oh, how's baby feeling now? Is baby hungry? And asking those questions about emotions help put names to feelings that toddlers are feeling and might not know what they're called. And then they will grow and they will appreciate how they are feeling in themselves, because during play you have given names to those emotions that your child is feeling. Now, there's a lot of information in there, and I'm going to be doing more sessions on playing. Please do leave comments, ask questions, private message us at Coffee Tots if you don't want to put it publicly. But we really want to hear from you about whether you found this video useful, what questions it's made you think of, and we'd love to see photos or little videos or just descriptions if you don't want to share your child's photo about how you've got on trying this out with your child. Anyway, until next time from Coffee Tots at Home, I'm Anne Tots, and it's been lovely spending time with you. Bye bye for now.